Welcome back. This is Morning News Today. South Africa continues to be lauded, that's praised, for its peaceful transition to democracy. 20 years on, it's often asked whether our story can inspire other groups in the rest of the world. Today, we focus on the Middle East. Joining me now in the studio is Israel's ambassador to South Africa, Lenk, and we've got Professor Farid Esak, who is from the Coalition for a Free Palestine. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you very much for coming in. I don't think in the time we have this morning we'll be able to resolve centuries-old conflict in the Middle East. But no, just want to try and get a sense of where we are at now. Over the last month, there's been negotiations again and facilitated by the United States between the Palestinians and the Israelis happening in currently, as you know. Last week, John Kerry, the U.S. Secretary of State, met with the Palestinian President Abbas in London, and both of them agreed there was a need to try and intensify the progress of these current Middle East peace talks. Some Palestinian groups feel there's no progress at all, but the Americans tend to differ, and the Israelis believe in this process that it can help. I just want to get a sense from you, from what you're seeing. How do you think? Let's start with you, Ambassador. What's your view on the current negotiations?
I think one of the great lessons we have from South Africa, Nelson Mandela taught us to talk with our enemies, to find a way to work together. That's what Israelis and Palestinians are doing today. They're difficult issues in a very complicated region with Syria to the north and Egypt to the south. And we have hard issues, and it's different than in this area of the world, but we have to talk and negotiate and stick it out so that we can work it out for the benefit of Israelis and Palestinians.
Professor Esak?
Well, I think that invariably, in all situations of conflict, there is desperate need for conversations, especially if those conversations are to be an alternative to the ongoing humiliation of people, or to massacres, or to endless cycles of very, very destructive human lives that future generations, in fact, end up paying for. So in principle, yes, people, regardless of how they describe each other, terrorists or occupiers, fundamentalists, radicals, regardless of how we wish to describe those who disagree with us, at the end of the day, as human beings, we have no alternative but to talk to each other.
A question I have in my mind is there's been several attempts in the past. I remember myself being a young journalist at the time when the Oslo Agreement was signed. I think it's about a decade ago, on the 10th of September, the late PLO leader Yasser Arafat and with Yitzhak Rabin,